Earlier in the show, we clued you in on the reemergence of intimate open-air motoring. Call them what you will, ragtop, roadster, spider, or cabriolet. Whenever the weather turns warm, our driving fancy turns to wind-in-the-hair motoring. And recently, we've had plenty of new offerings to dream about. In fact, the convertible segment has exploded in the past few years, with at least a dozen new drop-top models hitting the streets. So to celebrate this upswing in the Sunseeker market, we've asked Jennifer Kasnabas to figure out some of the reasons for this Roadster Revival.
For anyone who loves driving, there's nothing closer to automotive nirvana than this bunch. 8 of the newest and most desirable roadsters money can buy. But in a country gone minivan mad, how do you explain the resurgence of cars like these?
The very first cars were all open-topped, but by the late 20s, car buyers began demanding a roof over their heads. But the appeal of open-top motoring never diminished for some and has long been romanticized in advertising, the movies, and television. No doubt, these dashing adventurers would be having far less fun cooped up in a sedan. And can you picture Buzz and Todd cruising Route 66 in an old pickup instead of a Corvette? The great highway construction boom of the 1940s and 50s, coupled with mapfuls of well-paved country roads, provided the motivation for millions of Americans to discover the freedom of the open road. And the most passionate drivers fueled their dreams in marques like MG, Triumph, Morgan, Alfa Romeo, and Austin Healey.
When I was in school, I had a Sunbeam Alpine that I drove all year round through all 4 seasons. And one of the things I enjoyed most about the car was making the transition from winter to springtime, putting the top back, and just having spent the entire winter avoiding the ice slicks and the drafty seals around the top. It definitely was a nice change of pace to be able to put the top down and enjoy the sunshine for a while. And convertibles have always been in our family. It's probably a genetic disorder. I suspect my son will enjoy them as much as I have and my father has.
The heyday of the drop top lasted until the early 1970s, when safety concerns spelled the death knell for fun little convertibles, and Sunseekers were left with only converted sedans or expensive specialty cars to choose from. It wasn't until 1989 that Mazda's Miata reintroduced the fun to affordable open-air driving. It was cramped, underpowered, and impractical, and it sold like hotcakes.
I've always had a convertible ever since I got my driver's license. I enjoy the sun and the wind and the smell of the countryside and all the sensations you get in a small basic car. The car maker today seems to want to separate us from all these things in the name of luxury.
A decade after the Miata debuted, the Roadster market is suddenly packed. Spurred on by plentiful gas, modern technology, and a booming economy, empty nesters and kids of all ages are rediscovering the joys of top-down driving. Now the list of sporty convertibles on the market or soon-to-be includes names like Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Toyota, Mitsubishi, and Panoz. And even family icons Honda and Ford are getting into the game.
They're a lot more fun, they're a lot more dependable, and it's a great way to enjoy driving. Take the top down and go for a spin.
Well, it seems like the reasons for loving these cars is as varied as the machines themselves. So which one would I choose? Well, I can't decide. I guess I'm just going to have to drive all of them one more time.